Welcome to Xero Hero, a short video blog from HBA Encompass aimed to make your Xero journey easier. Please note that all the slides today have been created from existing Xero training videos. Xero has rapidly changed in the past few years, so sometimes the pictures are using old screenshots or overseas versions. Where possible, each session is followed up by a live demonstration. If you have any queries regarding any content delivered today, feel free to contact me via email, victoria@hbaencompass.com.au or phone 0754 44 7094.
Welcome to Smart Lists.
So under Contacts, there's a thing here called Smart Lists. Xero has some defaults, so you can do a sort on someone who's purchased an item or has outstanding invoices or paid you in the last year. There's a heap of them. We'll go into it when we log in and have a look. So you can use these, or you can create a new one on any of the conditions that Xero lets you drop down onto. So it's a matter of going, we add a condition, and you can have specific or any for the item. The purchased here, so you can see purchase, not purchase, invoice, payments, location, contact group. So you can say anyone who purchased a book in the last 6 months comes up as a list. So that's where having your contact groups can be very handy, because you can pull a list of anyone who deals you at, say you have 2 offices at one location, and then has bought from you in the last 6 months, and you can actually get a list. And what it will do is it will actually do it in numerical order, and the same way there's blue buttons you can sort by, but what it will do, and it's really handy if you ever want to have a look at who your biggest customers are or referred by. So that might be something in your contacts list that you could put a referred by in there, and then you could see the list of the biggest referrers. So that would be really interesting. There's a lot you can do with it. To be honest, I haven't had a huge play with it because I knew as soon as I did I was going to spend hours just playing. And probably it's really easy, or easier, when we get into the Xero to actually show you how it works. The PowerPoint doesn't do it justice. But once you do it, so you can see here, these guys have purchased a book in the last 6 months and purchased a golf ball white in the last 6 months. So this is a demo company, so books and golf balls are a bit bizarre, but it goes together. But once you've done it, you hit run and it brings it all down here. You can save it. You can either update an existing one or create a new one. You can export it. You can add to a contact group. So that might be a good way of creating the contact groups as well. So very powerful in what you can get out there, where it drills down to all the transactions that you've done. Now, we can rename save searches and we can delete save searches there. So if you're having a good play and have all these searches to your heart's content and your lists down here goes forever, you can actually go through and delete the ones that you're not going to use. Okay. So as we mentioned before, you can do a smart list and just go through the whole process and go through it from there. So these ones here, it's exactly what I was saying before. You can actually add the missing details if you've got it, which is something I didn't know. So you can see here for Hamilton Smith, he had no email, but if you know that you've got his email address and you look it up in your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever it is, you can copy and paste it in here so that you've got their full details in there. The important thing about that is if you're then going to export that to something like MailChimp, you know that it's got all the details that you need. Okay, and as I mentioned before, you can sort by any of the headers there as well. We spoke briefly just before about adding a contact to a group. So maybe I was getting a bit ahead of myself. So when you're happy with it, you select the ones that you want to add and add to a contact group. If you haven't got the right group, you can actually create a group from there as well. And we talked about exporting. So it either comes out as a CSV file or Constant Contact. Now, Constant Contact is like MailChimp, and I keep talking about MailChimp because I know how to use MailChimp, but it is an email marketing program that is the only of the add-ons that actually link directly to Xero. So if you click on the Constant Contact there, it'll automatically zip across to, it'll open it up and import it all straight away. Whereas any of the other programs, you'll need to create the CSV and then upload it. Okay, Constant Contact seems to be an American product. I've never heard of it until I actually started looking at some of this training and realised that there was such a thing. So you can see here that there are some saved ones which come up standard. So what we might do is anyone who has invoiced more than $1,000 in the last 4 weeks. Okay, so what it does, it lists who they are, and that's the total of all the invoices to that person. So if you've done several invoices to the small business services, it's the total. It's not going to list them all. And then we just sort, and there's your list of your customers by how much you've invoiced them, which is really handy if you wanted to know who your biggest customers are. Okay, so the actual drop downs, you can have obviously a variance of the things there. Purchase, people haven't purchased, so you might want to send something out to them and go, hey, haven't heard from you in a while, here's a 5% discount to come back in, or something like that. Payments, location, or a contact group. You can make it any, outstanding, overdue, paid, or a total, more than or less than, ever, 2 years, last year, 6 months, 4 weeks, 7 days. So there's a massive combination of there. You can save the search if you want to. You can run the search. We can export it to CSV. And then it comes up in an Excel spreadsheet that you can cut and paste or upload into something. So quite easy, quite simple, but very, very powerful, particularly as a marketing tool to know what people have done. Okay, and you can also make it do any of the following. So I could go, invoiced any more than $1,000 in the first week, and payments more than in the 7 days. So anyone who's bought off me in the last 4 weeks or paid in the last 7 days, you could send a detail through. Or less than 0. So anyone who hasn't paid in the last 7 days. So you can, and as we said, you can dovetail in there and put his details in there as well. Nice and easy, which automatically updates it to their contact, but also means if you want to export it to something that it comes out. My name's Victoria Berry. I'm one of the directors of HBA Encompass. So if you need to contact me, my email address is victoria@hbaencompass.com.au, or of course our phone number is 0754 44 7094. Thanks for listening.